And the US military wanted to buy a system where one individual within the US military could control multiple accounts. These are used to manipulate public opinion. I have a new studio set up. I bought this stuff a while ago, and I haven't actually set it up, but I just did, and I'm actually really liking it. I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't know how it looks. I'm monitoring it on my phone, and I guess it looks fine. But let's get serious. Let's talk about something a bit more serious, maybe Syria. That's serious, right? As you all know, recently 59, I think the number is 59 Tomahawk missiles were fired by the United States at a Syrian airbase. Now, I don't want to talk about the military action. What I want to talk about is a Twitter account that is allegedly a 7-year-old girl named Bana Alabed, who is tweeting messages of anti-war and in some instances calling for intervention in Syria. Now, I've had a lot of people bring this account up to me, and it's been talked about quite a bit because it is a 7-year-old girl with a verified Twitter profile and around 360,000 followers. So a lot of people are naturally interested in what this little girl has to say. So what I decided to do, based on what some of the comments I received are, I wanted to know if people really do believe this account is legit, right? Is it actually this little girl who's composing these tweets in English, I might add? And so I ran a Twitter poll. Now, let me say this. My Twitter followers came from several different news events that I've covered. The first, obviously, Occupy Wall Street. Many left-leaning, liberal people started following me when I was covering Occupy Wall Street. I covered Black Lives Matter, Trayvon Martin, the Ferguson riots, and again, many more Twitter followers that I would consider to be liberal. But there are many news events like Turkey, Egypt, Ukraine, Venezuela, where I attracted more moderate and news junkie types in the United States. And then with my trip to Sweden, I have gained many more conservative followers. So I've actually done, in some of my content, you can actually see that there's a pretty moderate divide. It's not one side or the other. I know a lot of people are tweeting at me accusing saying all my followers are conservative or all my followers are liberal, but there's really a mix, I would say. This is important for one reason. I ran the Twitter poll against my followers. Okay, right now I've got about 123,700 or so followers on Twitter, and 95% do not believe that Bana Alabed is composing her statements on Twitter. Now, many people have sent me the Twitter bio showing that the account is managed by her mother. I understand the account is managed by her mother, but my question is more, is this little girl actually saying these things, or is someone saying them and using her image to claim that she's the one making these statements? Whatever the issue, whatever the interpretation might be, out of 3,766 votes, 95% do not believe that this little girl is composing her statements. So I'll say this first. Look, regardless of whether or not you trust the account, a message of anti-war, a message saying stop killing children, stop war, I think we can all agree with that. War sucks, and killing children especially sucks. Killing people, bad, okay? So regardless of whether or not you believe this account is truly this little girl, let's just first and foremost say war sucks, killing is bad. We agree with this, okay? But there has been several statements that are misleading or outright false coming from this Twitter account, and many people think that it's pushing to build up some kind of, I don't know, pro-intervention sentiment amongst Americans or amongst people around the world. Now, a couple months ago, this Twitter account tweeted a photo of a little girl raising her arms above her head, and said, "My sister thought the camera was a gun," and raised her hands. Well, this photo was from a couple of years ago, and it was a Turkish photojournalist who took this photo. So that's just a lie. That's not true. Okay? This little girl in this photo is not sisters with this Bana Alabed. And Bana then deleted the tweet, or I should say her mother, whoever's managing the account, then deleted the tweet and tweeted, "Everyone is my sister." Shortly after, they tweeted, "I will always be honest," or something along those lines, just after posting misleading information. But if this account isn't actually coming from this little girl, is there some conspiracy to produce social propaganda? What would the point of the account be if the little girl isn't the one running it? Well, let me say this. In 2011, a company called HB Gary was hacked, and their emails were leaked. Journalists, most notably Barrett Brown, started digging through these emails and found out that the US military was looking to purchase software that would allow them to run several different fake social media profiles per person. These are called sock puppets, okay? They're fake profiles that look like real people. And the US military wanted to buy a system where one individual within the US military could control multiple accounts. These are used to manipulate public opinion. Fact. Now, the US government says they weren't going to be used on Americans. But here's my question. If there is an account, tweeting in English, verified, hundreds of thousands of followers, calling for US intervention in a foreign country, they can claim they're targeting people outside of the US, but if an American sees that account and it's in English, aren't they then indirectly being targeted by this propaganda? Now, I'm not saying this account is fake. There's clearly a little girl in these videos. This person is real, okay? We know her mother is real. And it really could just be that her mother has been tweeting things using her daughter's name to send a message and is fighting for what she believes in. That's entirely possible too. And I honestly believe that's the simpler solution. It's more likely to be the case because it's not that complicated. But there always is the possibility, because we know the government has been running these sock puppet accounts. But don't take my word for it, because look, stories like this, information like this, it is inconclusive. There's no real way to know whether or not it's a sock puppet account. And the best we can do is operate on the assumption of, or I should say, the best we can do is follow Occam's razor. The simple solution tends to be the correct one. In this case, the little girl's mother is tweeting using her name, which is also a bit morally confusing if you were to ask me. Is that okay that the mom is using her daughter's name and image to push this message of intervention? Look, I wanted to bring up this issue. I wanted to talk about this Twitter account. And I'm going to end by restating that since I ran the poll asking my audience if they believed this little girl was actually composing her own tweets, since I posted that, I have been blocked by this little girl. So I don't know. I don't know what it means, but it is an interesting topic nonetheless. Some people have asked the question, why aren't other little kids in other countries getting the same attention? I don't know. It could just be because Syria is on the front line. Syria is the story we're all talking about. But as tensions escalate, following the missile strike on Syria and now the naval strike force headed to the Korean Peninsula, I think it's important that we talk about these things and keep a healthy dose of skepticism within us. The simple solution may be the correct one, but it isn't always. So with that, I want to say thank you all so much for hanging out today. This has been I want to do a video where I tested out my new studio stuff, right? Did it work? I don't know. Comment below and let me know what you think. Let's comment below and talk about anything, really. Click the like button because it really does help. And again, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more videos like this, okay? I'm stuck in New York for a couple more days, but I'm going to be heading to San Francisco very soon to cover a big free speech rally, which will probably get hectic. So again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.